When you are performing the thermodynamic modeling of a reservoir fluid, why is it worth it to split the C20 plus fraction? Well, gas condensate and volatile oil can be very sensitive to traces of heavy components. For example, if heavies precipitates preferably at the dew point, for example, if you lump everyone together in a single component, you may have trouble in fitting your dew point, which is the main property of a gas condensate PVT analysis. So if you don't have chromatographic data beyond C20, what's the methodology to obtain the heaviest mole fractions? I'll show you what we use in our book. Come on. The exponential decay is not the only one, but it's a good way to represent the behavior of the concentration of the heavy fraction. The heavier the component, the exponentially shorter is its mole fraction. Right? And, well, if we assume that we're starting from C20, if we don't have resins and asphaltenes and so on, it's reasonable to assume that hydrocarbons don't go farther than 80 carbon numbers. All right, with two equations here, we determine the constants of the exponential decay C and D. The first one is the normalization condition, the zero order moment. If we integrate over from 20 to 80, we'll have to obtain the unity here. Right? It's a normalization. To calculate the mean value of the distribution, which is the most important parameter, right? We have to integrate the product of the variable and the exponential decay from 20 to 80, and we must equate it to the mean value of the single carbon number. Okay, this is the mean value condition, the first order moment. With C and D, right, once we have the mean molecular weight of the distribution, we have C and D from these two equations, okay? And then we are completely set. Now, if we perform a variable change here, then for some different values of delta here, we'll have, for example, using two quadrature points, we have four equations, right, using some power series of the variable z, the generalized quadrature variable here. Okay, and then we have four equations for four variables, which are the points, z1 and z2, and the weights of quadrature, w1 and w2. Okay. Well, what about the specific gravity of the distribution? We'll assume there's logarithm behavior here. And once we have the mean molecular weight, the average molecular weight of the C20 plus fraction, and we know that it is directly related to the average single carbon number, then we could replace the average single carbon number here. And this is one equation to obtain E and B. And to keep continuity with the lighter strand, right, we can put here, for example, the 19, the single carbon number right below our distribution. And then we have two equations and two variables A and B. And once you have the logarithm relation set for specific gravity, you can replace your quadrature point pseudocomponents here to obtain their rho values. Once you have molecular weight and specific gravity, you are right set to obtain the equation of state parameters Tc, Pc, and omega through plenty of correlations that exist in the literature. You can choose the correlation you use to obtain Tc, Pc, and omega from molecular weight and specific gravity.
Well, that doesn't mean you have your equation of state fitted already. These set of Tc, Pc, and omega parameters are just initial guesses. You have to change them by reproducing some PVT data, and then, for example, validate them using some compositional grading study.
Want to talk more about compositional grading? Please get the book, take a read at it, send your questions. I'll be happy to answer them and generate more opportunities for us all.
Thanks.